Curious about the pay at Landstar? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you my first month's pay at Landstar. Let's go. Welcome back to Trucking the Seven Seas. This is episode number 56, and in this episode, we're going to go over the first month's pay at Landstar. If you are new to this channel, welcome. I started this channel in order to show exactly what truck drivers make. We started as a company driver working for night transportation, moved on to a lease operator working for night transportation, then an owner-operator working for night transportation, and now we are an owner-operator working for Landstar. I show all of the loads I take, what the revenue is, what the expenses are, and I compile all of this information that I put into a spreadsheet that I share with you at the end of every video. So if this is a topic that interests you, follow the channel. So for the returning viewers, last episode we did pretty much the first week at Landstar. It's been a little bit hectic this past basically month. So that first week was actually technically 2 weeks at Landstar, so it covered like April, but it was only like half of the month of April, and it was a weird couple weeks there. So that was actually more like 2 weeks at Landstar, and then I took a week and a half off due to maintenance issues and due to installing an APU. So this week is basically going to be the 1 month mark. So we're going to go over basically 1 month at Landstar, but following this, we're going to do weekly settlements because there is in fact a weekly settlement page. It's just not on the actual settlement page, which I do not understand why they put the weekly settlement on a different page than the monthly settlement. So that got confusing, but I did find weekly settlements, and going forward, we're going to be doing a weekly settlement every week. But for this episode, things were just a little bit hectic that first month, so we did that last episode that kind of covered 2 weeks or so, and then I took a week and a half off. But basically this episode, we're just going to catch up, and I'm going to do like a weekly summary. So it's going to basically be weeks like 1 through 4, roughly speaking. And then, so we're going to do that. And then going forward, though, it'll be weekly settlements. So we left off in Phoenix, Arizona. That's where I had the maintenance issue, which turned out to be a NOx sensor. And that's where I had the APU installed. So I took some time off there, went home for a bit. And then after the Phoenix, after I got the APU and everything installed, I grabbed a load from Phoenix to Salt Lake City. So they ended up sending my plates to my address in Las Vegas. So so I had to drive up to Las Vegas. And originally, if you remember last episode, I was trying to get to Reno and maybe get on a dedicated route there. But I called the Reno agent up, and basically that route, or that those lanes, you need extra trailers. So basically, you drop your trailer and then you come get it like 3 days later or whatever, and then you kind of, you do the loop, like I was saying, from Reno to Austin, Austin to Reno. So obviously I don't have another trailer. I suppose I could buy one, but I'm not going to do that. So that Reno plan is not going to work out. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get on that. But I still needed to get to Las Vegas, so I decided, okay, try to get up to Reno anyway. Couldn't actually find a load to Reno, nothing good. So unfortunately, I had to take another load to Salt Lake City, and I just detoured over to Vegas, which was not ideal. So I booked a load going to Salt Lake City, and I didn't properly film it, so I don't have me talking to the agent or whatever, but it wasn't anything special. I just booked a load going up to Salt Lake City. I think I paid like $2 a mile or something like that. It wasn't terrible, but unfortunately, we're going up to Salt Lake City, and that is where this episode is going to leave off. So we're leaving Phoenix, and now we are headed to Salt Lake City. So let's go. Alright, so I'm using the app right now to try to find a load. So I'm on my way to Salt Lake City, just dropping this load. Got my plates, finally. So grabbed those. So I did a little detour over to Vegas. Cost me like 60 miles or something like that. So be it. And then grab my plates. Gonna drop this load in Salt Lake City. And then after this load, I need to get out of Salt Lake City again. It's pretty clear I'm gonna have to take a trash load. And I'm once again looking to go to the Midwest. So that's what we're doing, and I'm running this on, well, I did a search on my phone just now, so you're seeing a load board search on my phone, and you can look at it by the rates, and the highest rate right now going out of Salt Lake City to the Midwest or the South or Texas or whatever is $1.69 per mile, and that's that Georgia load. So I'm gonna have to take something ugly, no doubt about it, and that's just the way it's gonna be. So yeah, not gonna book one yet. We'll see what else pops up here in the next hour or two, but it's quite clear I'm gonna have to take a really ugly load. But for right now, let's get to Salt Lake and see if anything else pops up. So I put a load alert on my phone, so whenever there is a load that matched a certain search criteria that I put in earlier, I get an alert for it. And what you're seeing now is all of the loads that popped up that meet the original search criteria. And I expanded the search criteria to like 250 miles outside of Salt Lake City. That way it hits Twin Falls, Idaho. Wasn't it would have to pay pretty good for me to drive all the way to Twin Falls, but I figured, okay, let's try what's the worst that can happen, So anyways, these are all of the loads that just popped up this morning. It's 7:30 this morning, and there's a couple in particular, or really one in particular that looks pretty good. But these are all of them. I mean, I could go to Colorado. So at this point, I should mention, it's Thursday, and I pretty much accepted I'm going to have to take a load that's going to deliver on Monday. So I'm going to go through the weekend. So at this point, I'm looking to get a load that covers the weekend as well. So what am I going to do? So yeah, I could technically take this Glenwood Springs load right here if I wanted to. However, then I'd have to get a load out of Colorado, which is probably going to be even more difficult, and I don't want to deal with that. So that one's not good. So there's some other loads: Draper, Utah to Colorado, Salt Lake City to Dallas. That's what I'm looking at. West Valley City to Houston, also good. There's 3 of those. Rupert, Idaho to Alabama. Could do that one. I mean, it's okay. If we look at it, what's the deadhead? It doesn't say. I think there's like 200 miles of deadhead. The pickup time, I could do that one. It's not terrible. I would have to deadhead like 200 miles, so it'd actually be like 2,200 miles or something like that, which I suppose is better. Yeah, I could do that, but I'm not feeling it because of the deadhead, and it's not that much better than I mean, $1.80 a mile, but after I do the deadhead, it's going to drop it down to like $1.60, $1.70 a mile. So I suppose I could do that one, but yeah, that one's kind of on the table. So I'll probably do that one last, just because it's like 200 and some odd miles of deadhead, I think. Let me look. That is. Yeah, that's by Twin Falls. Yeah, we're looking at about 200 miles of deadhead. So the actual rate per mile is closer to $1.60 or $1.70. And mind you, this is before Landstar takes its cut. So yeah. Last time I ever come to Salt Lake City for less than like $3 a mile. Anyways, yeah, other loads. Utah to Texas doesn't pay very well. To New Jersey doesn't pay well. To Pennsylvania, that one pays okay. There's this new Nebraska one, but that Nebraska one is on the border with Colorado, which is not good. So it pays well, but it's only 500 miles. Not good. So really, the one I'm looking at is this Houston one right here. So there is this one from Salt Lake City to Dallas, Texas. The problem I have with this one is it's 1,200 miles, and I have 4 days to do it. So I can get about 600 miles per day. So if I have 4 days to do it, well, that's going to leave me 2 days of just sitting. So I don't really want to do that. So yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm going to have to reset this weekend, which is fine. I'll probably almost need it this weekend, so that's fine to reset this weekend. But if I'm taking this Houston load and it's only 1,200 miles, that's not good. I don't want to do that. So not loving that, which means, the Dallas load is the one I didn't want. That one wasn't good. But this Houston load, yeah, it's an extra 250 miles, which isn't a lot more. However, I would need 3 days to do that. Well, about 2.5 days to do that. So if I were to try to grab this one, it's pick up and drop off at any time today and any time on Monday, which is good. So I can just pick it up whenever today, drop it on Monday. There's 3 of them. One's 25,000 pounds and one's 20,000 pounds. This one right here. and then one is 6,000 pounds. I'd probably go for the one that's 6,000 pounds. So it's very light, and it again picks up and drops anytime today and then Monday, and it's 1,400 miles. So I basically drive Thursday, Friday, be there basically Saturday midday, reset Sunday, and then drop it Monday, which would work pretty well. I wish it was a little longer. I wish it was closer to like 1,800 miles or something like that. But beggars can't be choosers here, and I am most certainly a beggar. And $1.73 per mile is not good. At least there's no deadhead with it, or at least very little deadhead. So $1.73 per mile. I mean, I don't know what that works out to. My take home is probably going to be $1.35 or something like that, which is complete trash. But I don't have a choice. So let's call this number, and let's see if I can book this. Hi Alex, this is Tim with Landstar. I was calling about your load or loads going from West Valley City, Utah to Houston, Texas. Are they still available? Today? Can you tell me a little bit about it? Okay. Alright, so you're talking about the $20,000 one? Okay. They're 20,000 pound. Okay. 2,500, best you got there? Yeah, I got you. Okay, so it picks up today at 8 o'clock. Delivers Monday, 8, anytime after 8, really. 2,500. No, it's not hazmat or anything like that, right? No tanker, no nothing like that. Okay. All right, yeah, I can take that for you. Yeah, the 20,000. Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there 8-ish. Okay, I'll go ahead and text this number right now. Thank you. All right, bye-bye. Okay, let's get out of here. $1.70 a mile. I tried to, hey, is $1.73 the best you got? See what he says. It doesn't look like there's negotiation with these rates on here, so it's all good, kind of. So, booking a trash load to get out of here. I'm gonna grab this one, drop it on Monday. Going to Houston. That's a much better area, and we should be doing a lot better at that point. So, let's go to Houston, Texas. Made it out here to Huntsville, Texas, which is just north of Houston, and we're going to go ahead and deliver this tomorrow morning. And after we deliver it, next week is in fact what's known as the blitz. This is when the DOT all across the country just starts basically harassing every truck driver they see that goes through a port. So, I have my opinions on that. I think that's probably not necessary considering how overregulated this industry already is. But a lot of guys don't even run during this period, and normally I don't either. However, I've taken way too much time off and I'm going to go ahead and run. But in order to avoid the madness that's about to occur this week, I've decided I'm pretty much going to run local in Houston. So I'm going to get to Houston, and then the blitz occurs Tuesday through Thursday, more or less. It'll probably kind of extend Friday and Monday as well, a little bit, depending. But I'm pretty much going to try to run local loads in Houston because A, it will help me avoid the blitz, so I'm less likely to get harassed, and also I'm kind of wondering how much local loads pay, like how good that can be. So good time to do that. So this week I'm gonna drop this Houston load, and then I'm gonna go ahead and try to run some local loads, like I'm talking 50, 60, 70, maybe 100 miles in and around Houston. And we're going to see what that does. We're going to see how that works. So it's a good time to do that, considering it's a blitz. So that's our plan next week. And then after, the blitz ends, so probably Friday, I'm planning on potentially taking a load from Texas into California. So that would be a load that will get me through the weekend. So I'll pick it up Friday, maybe Thursday, depending, and drive it through the weekend and drop it probably on Monday in California. And then in California, I'll probably kind of stay local in California and maybe running back and forth to California. And then after, Friday next week, when I'm in California, I might try to grab a load from California to the Midwest or something. So I might try that. that's my tentative plan for next week. So yeah, just wanted to kind of give a brief update on what my plan is next week. I don't know if it's going to work out that way. We'll see what kind of loads are in Houston. I mean, I'm going to go wherever the loads take me. So we're going to see how that works out. But that's my plan for next week. And this Houston load, actually, I don't even think it's going to make this paycheck. It'll probably be on the next one. So either way, that's going to pretty much do it as far as the load planning and everything goes. So we're going to go ahead and hop into the spreadsheet right now. Okay, it's spreadsheet time. For this episode, we are going to cover 4 weeks, actually. So the last month or so has been extremely hectic. Not only did I have maintenance issues and I went through orientation and I was trying to figure out the load board and everything, I also just couldn't find the weekly settlements on the Landstar website. So on the Landstar website, there is a settlement page, but for whatever reason, the weekly settlements are not on the settlement page. So that threw me through a loop there. I couldn't find it for a while. Then you guys started commenting on where it was. Thank you for those comments because I was able to find it. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to do these things. We're going to continue doing them weekly. However, I fell so far behind and I couldn't find them for a while that this is actually going to cover 4 weeks. And that Landstar website, it has a lot of information on it, but as far as finding it, it's very, very difficult. All right, just a couple new things I put on the spreadsheet. So over here, you're going to see total line haul. That's the total amount the load pays. This 35% is going to be Landstar's cut, and this 65% is going to be my cut. I think when I explained that in like one of the first Landstar videos, I kind of didn't explain it well, and some people thought that Landstar took 65%. No, I get 65% and Landstar gets 35%, so that's what's with that. And yeah, and then, so just to clarify, I get 65% and Landstar takes 35%. But I get 100% of the fuel surcharge. So yeah, just a quick explanation there, and I did add these columns in there, and I'm going to add up the total amount that Landstar is taking from me, and I'm sure you guys will find that very interesting. So I'm going to put that on there, and you guys are going to see exactly what Landstar gets, and so am I. So let the games begin. Let's see what they take. Okay, other than that though, everything else mostly the same. If you watched any of my previous videos, it's pretty self-explanatory, and I'm going to go through it right now, well, here in a second. But to begin with, the first week was mostly orientation. So this first week I went to orientation, and then I also got dispatched to go pick up a trailer in Salt Lake City. So I did that, but there's no revenue for this week, so that's what's going on there. So I'm going to go over week 2 and week 3, but because week 1 and 4 there wasn't anything to go over, I'm just going to kind of touch on them real quick. So just to break down week 2, so I grabbed the trailer in Salt Lake City, and then grabbed a load in Salt Lake City, headed to Lisbon, Iowa. 1,100 miles, paid $1,600 for $1.35 per mile. So the $1,600 right here includes the fuel surcharge and my pay. It does not include Landstar's cut right there. So Landstar took $500 out of that one. And then after that Lisbon, Iowa load, I took one from Wyoming, Illinois to Helena, Arkansas, 500 miles, paid $933, $250 for fuel surcharge, and then $680 for the line haul. Landstar took $367 from that. So my total revenue was $2,540 for $1.48 per mile. Landstar's cut was $910 at 53 cents per mile. So yeah, that's what they took out of that. So $900, about 35%. There it is right there. And I think this is going to be fun to add up to see what exactly they're taking. And I'm going to add it all up. So you guys are going to see, like, if I work for them a year, you're going to see it. Hey, they took $100,000 or something. We'll see what it comes out to. I don't know. But anyways, that's what's going on there. So $1.48 per mile. Pretty bad, but that's what I got. Fuel expenses were $1,500. That one's real high. I think this includes a lot of the trailer pickup. So I think a lot of that, or probably all of that, actually, is on the trailer pickup. So I think this trailer pickup of 665 miles, it kind of got integrated in with this fuel expense. So just note there, high fuel expense. No maintenance issues this week. Okay, so other expenses, FWCP. I don't know what that is. Still trying to figure it out, but it cost me $72 per week, and it's going to be on every week. Card fee, $350. Truck SCN. I don't know what that is either, but it cost me $4. So every time, that's on every week, and I think it's like every time I fuel up or something, they charge me $2 for a truck stop. So I think that's what's going on there. I think I get charged $2 every time I fuel up at a truck stop. I think that's what that is. Escrow, $66. Bobtail, $34, basically. License fee, $3.69. EOBR, $27. Thank you for those who commented as to what that was. So total expenses were $211 at 12 cents per mile. All right, so totals for week 2. This is week 2. Total expenses were $1,700 for $1 per mile. Total revenue was $2,540 at $1.48 per mile. Net settlement was $823 at 48 cents per mile, which is pretty terrible, but all things considered, I was in a bad area and I was just, I didn't have my plates, so I was picking very specific loads, so whatever. So that was the first week. Not a good week, and yeah, bad week. All right, so moving on to week 3. This is pretty much like a half week. This is when I brought the truck in for maintenance and the APU. So I brought it there like Thursday or Friday or something like that, and then brought it into the mechanic shop on, I think it was Saturday. Somebody got around to looking at it at a Love's, and then I ended up bringing it to another mechanic shop on Monday, and then they brought it out of the mechanic shop on Tuesday, and then I brought it to the APU Thermo King on Wednesday, and the Thermo King, between the financing and everything, getting it all said and done, they had it done by next Monday, so I took like 10 days off is what happened here. Wasn't intentional, but it just sort of happened that way, and it does happen that way. So anyways, I just had the one load. So after the Arkansas load, I grabbed a load, headed back to Arizona, so Phoenix, Arizona. Glendale is Phoenix, Arizona. And total revenue on all that was $2,242 dollars. Total mileage was 1,550. Landstar took $800 at 52 cents per mile. So that's Landstar's cut right there. My fuel expenses were $1,500, which is high, 97 cents per mile. I don't know why that was so high, to be honest. Not 100% sure. It should go down. When I was at night, my fuel expense was like 50 cents per mile, which is pretty normal. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Yeah, I don't know why so far my fuel expenses have been through the roof. I'm not doing anything differently. So I'm guessing it's going to come down, and I don't quite know why. I probably fueled up in Phoenix right before I brought it into maintenance. I bet that's what happened, something like that. So anyways, yeah, very high fuel expense. So I don't know what's going on there. So then the APU down payment. So I had to cough up a down payment for the APU. Cost me $986. The payment is like $500 per month. So I'll keep that updated. And yeah, so it's about $500 per month. And then the NOx sensor was $1,500, which kind of caught me off guard. They charged me $500 for the actual sensor, and then about $1,000 per labor and everything like that. So that seemed high. I was a little shocked when I got that bill, but yeah, that seems high just for a NOx sensor. So I may not bring my truck there again. We'll see. What do you guys think? Is that high? That seems high, very high, but whatever. All right, other expenses. FWCP, don't know what that is, $72. Card fee, no card fees. Truck stop, fuel, I think that's what that is, $2. Escrow, $66. Bobtail, $34. License fee, $369. Omnitrax, so that's my ELD. That cost me $93, I think a month. So I think this is a monthly cost here, and they just charge it at the end of the month for some reason. Don't know why. Security keys and locks, so they give me a big lock for the trailer, a kingpin lock. So you have to have one. So they gave me one, and they're charging me for it, but I get to keep them. And honestly, I probably needed one anyway. So they charged me, I think the whole thing is like $300. It's a big boy one, heavy duty one. And that's probably going to come out for like 5 or 6 weeks or something like that. And then that should go away. And then EOBR, $27 for $342 at 22 cents per mile. All right. So then for week 3, total expenses were $3,353 at $2.16 per mile. Total revenue was $2,242 at $1.45 per mile. That brings your net settlement to negative $1,110 at negative 72 cents per mile. And most of that is due to this right here. Just, APU sensor or the APU down payment and the NOx sensor. So just a note there. And also the fact that this just took a lot of time also. So it just took, a week and a half. So that's what happened there. And that is week 3. And then for week 4, because the truck was in maintenance, I didn't do anything. So this has nothing on it. Nope, that shouldn't be there. Sorry. get rid of that. So week 4 has nothing on it because nothing occurred. However, I did get charged the fixed fees. So same fees pretty much. This, I believe, was the installation of the OmniTrax device. So that's what's going on there. And it cost me $280. So yeah, that's the installation thing. All right, so I ended up losing almost $600 in week 4. So 600 divided by 0 equals infinity. So I lost infinity dollars that week. No big deal. But overall, so this is the total overall since I started the program. Total expenses were $5,914 at $1.50 per mile. Total revenue has been $4,783 at $1.21 per mile. And my total profit loss has been negative $1,131 at negative 29 cents per mile. Yeah, so the first month, negative 29 cents per mile, negative $1,100. That first month was just, it was pretty chaotic. I'm not going to lie. I just had a lot of stuff going on. I was trying to film the whole thing. I had a knock sensor issue. I decided to install an APU. I didn't have my plates. I didn't have my pre-pass. I was avoiding high enforcement states. I was taking crappy loads out of Salt Lake City because I had to, which I just did again. So the whole week or month was just chaotic and bad. And yeah, so now we're pretty much ready to roll. I got everything in place. I got my pre-pass. I actually just use DriveWise now. I had them activate a DriveWise instead, which is just as good. So that's what's going on there. First month, real bad. And I would expect it to get better from here. So, well, if it doesn't get better, I guess I'm going bankrupt. So anyways, there's the first month. And then these are the averages and other information. I mean, it's not too relevant because it's just 1 month and it's a negative month. So yeah, not really worth going over. None of it's accurate, I suppose. The only thing that is kind of interesting, so the total Landstar cut I've put right there. So Landstar is currently taking $1,700 out of all these loads, and they're averaging, so their cut is 44 cents per mile. So I think that's pretty interesting, right? Let the games begin. Let's see what they take. And I think you guys are going to find that very interesting. I will, and it should automatically add it all up, and we're going to see, how much they're taking. Looks like, I mean, a lot, frankly. So I don't know. Well, I guess that isn't too much because, I mean, doesn't insurance, like if I had to get my own like liability insurance for the trailer and everything, doesn't that run like, I mean, usually it runs like $1,000 to $1,500 a month, right? So I guess, and this is a 1 month, settlement. This is 1 month of settlements, and if they're only taking $1,700, that's not bad. But then again, my revenue was way down, so their revenue would also be down. Yeah, I guess we'll see, but we'll see what it does. They take care of insurance, they take care of your plates, they take care of everything. So we're going to see if it's worth it. I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it. If they're taking too much, well, we might move on. And yeah, that's that right now. For right now. Yeah, but there you go, guys. There is the first 4 weeks at Landstar. Not too accurate, frankly. I was just doing a bunch of weird stuff that just made me lose a bunch of money and time and all that. But yeah, there's the first month. Hope it was useful for you guys. And I'll keep them coming every week now. So I found the settlements. They're hard to find. Not on the settlement page, which I will never understand why they didn't put the settlements on the settlement page. Anyways, but I'll keep them coming once a week. And we're all caught up now. And things should run a lot smoother now. And we should be good to go. And should start, well, that number should start turning green here probably by next week, hopefully. So that's what's going on there. But that will do it for this episode. If you guys are interested in these spreadsheets or any of the other spreadsheets you've done in the past, they are available in the About section. After you open them, you can just hit File, Download, and then just download them to a Microsoft Excel sheet. And then after you download them to a Microsoft Excel sheet, you can use them however you please. But that will do it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.